Cayce Fischer enters screen holding pink guitar, moves close to modular, picks up headphones, and puts them on. Shot of Cayce's foot. Hits down, title sequence, makes something beautiful.
Learning to play piano from a very young age.
Shot of keyboard near modular.
Lessons when I was 5, maybe 4, and I got okay at it. I played.
Shot of Cayce as a young kid.
Conservatory up to grade 4, and in band in high school and middle school, I played clarinet. So lots of music. Music was something that
Cayce sitting on chair near modular.
Like work than it did a hobby at the time, especially.
Cayce looking down at the modular.
I would say around the summer of 2018. So a little under 2 years ago. For me, a time where I was very depressed and
pictures of Cayce pre-transition
and struggling with not knowing what I felt was wrong with me. And then I think very quickly I kind of came to the realization like, oh, I should probably talk to a gender therapist. Maybe there's like a gender thing happening here.
Blurry shot of Cayce looking in mirror, clears up.
Somewhere in September. That was a difficult process and a very fraught process for me, where, as I'm sure is true for a lot of people, there were a lot of walls I needed to break down around things
shot of
I
electric
thought were
modular
true or not true, or what I could or couldn't be, or things I was allowed to do or not do. So I kind of skimmed
blurry
by
up close shot of
a lot
modular.
Of the gendered markers earlier in life.
Clears up as it pulls out.
And so when you do that and you start feeling the things that a lot of people feel when they're 6, 7 years old that are like wrong with their gender. I didn't start feeling those till I was in my late 20s. And so I
shot of Cayce playing with modular.
And a lot of dark music. It was all work that I made in very much an art therapy process or an art therapy context, where that was a really
Cayce working on modular with headphones on.
It was the winter before I started hormones, but I knew I was transitioning.
Cayce walking around her house.
It's dark and I'm waiting and things felt terrible, and just get all of those screams out in the form of this electronic music instead of sitting in my room and screaming for 2 hours.
Title card. Archive footage Cayce in 2018. Cayce working on the electric modular.
I felt for the first time the kind of intrinsic knowing and joy that I think a lot of people know or feel when they're really young, if that's their story, of like, oh, well, it's obvious I'm a woman. That's just the truth as it exists. And that experience for me was certainly a flashpoint to say, like, I had this experience. It felt so real and normal and like obvious to me that now I'm going to take that forward and start transitioning and start like figuring out where that goes. Noise music is a genre or a group of genres.
Noise music graphic.
That prioritize texture, sound design over melody. I think that'd be the simplest way to put it. Art music is how I usually like to describe it, though that's almost a defense mechanism on my part to prepare people that it's going to be weird and unconventional. And I think a lot about how art therapy is often like painting.
Cayce playing on her pink guitar in front of the electric modular.
It's very analog and very freeform. People are encouraged to mess up a canvas, and it's not about creating a painting. It's about using paint to express yourself or to
close-up shot of Cayce's hands near the modular.
Out of your system. And so for me, the modular was that immediately. It was like, oh, I can hook a couple things together and get a sound, and then I can turn some knobs and change that sound. And I'm the kind of person who always wants to tackle
close-up shot of the modular,
esoteric and difficult and arcane aspects of a particular thing. So when it came to music being something like, oh, I should start a new hobby, I should try music, I went right for the thing that was complex and weird and required investigation. One thing that I consider magical about it is it's all based very literally on electricity. And so I kind of talk a lot to different people about how this is the closest thing that I'm actually going to get to
Close-up shot of the modular.
quote-unquote real magic, in a sense of like manipulating energy with my hand. And I kind of relate the process of patching to the process of sigil creation or inscribing a magic of taking feeling into
Close-up shot of the guitar.
reality. So I don't approach the modular or any music that I make
Cayce
from
playing on the guitar.
perspective of, I want to make this kind of thing, let's go set out and make it or produce it.
Cayce's feet near a bunch of wires.
You know, it's all analog, it is quite temperamental, and makes a lot of decisions on its own. And if you approach the system, the magical system or the electronic system, with a feeling or a context rather than a goal, I think you get better work out of it. You get more interesting stuff out of it. So for me, I always come to the machine with something I'm feeling or something I need to get out of my system, and then see what comes up in the process of inscribing or patching.
Title card, archive footage, Cayce in early 2020. Cayce performing a show on her electric modular.
Gender dysphoria feels like being unable to cross a street, maybe. Days where I'm feeling dysphoric often feel like days where I need to try really, really hard to cross the street and get to where I feel comfortable. And days where I don't have a lot of dysphoria, the roads are empty. I think a lot of the time what's on the other side of the street is just
Close-up
not
shot of
feeling
Cayce's
bad,
hands.
right? The other side of the street is comfort or normalcy as much as it is euphoria or a feeling good.
Shot of Cayce with her
These
family.
days, kind of somewhere in the middle of my transition, maybe. Days that are dysphoric are days where I just can't quite feel normal. I just can't quite feel like I can go about my day feeling like myself. It's not often a struggle for feeling good. All the things that I feel are normal for me, like being an outgoing, happy, fun person, are things that are clamped down on dysphoric days. You know, I think actually,
Cayce smiling and
regardless
laughing near a door frame.
of whether it's a good day or a bad day, if I'm making something beautiful or if I'm making something terrible, terrible in the context of like
Empty
expressing
shot of
terrible
electric
feelings,
modular and
I
headphones.
think
Cayce comes
the
up and puts on the
feeling
headphones.
of making music for both of those is the same, which is feeling
Shot of Cayce playing on her guitar and working on the modular.
release and euphoria, and ideally, you know, on really good days with the music, feels like touching something sublime. And on really bad days, that
Close-up of Cayce's hands playing the guitar.
expresses itself as making really dark music, something that like something from
Cayce
that
working on the
residue,
electric
which is
modular and
dark
playing her guitar.
crackling and energetic, that goes to a place that is or that expresses a sense of relief by moving
Cayce
to
working
that
on the
place.
modular.
And on good days, when
Cayce
I'm
walking
making
around her
ambient,
house.
like glassy, beautiful ambient music. Those days are when
Cayce with her
you don't
headphones on,
have to
working
go
on the
from
modular.
the dark place to the light place. That's where you start in the beautiful place and you try to make something beautiful.
Cayce looking in the mirror. Slow motion shot of Cayce smiling and laughing near a door frame.
I mean, I do think it's really important, especially for women or queer people in any hobby or space, but I think particularly electronic music, which is very skewed towards the like male-dominated straight world. It's really important to have a place, I think, where you
Archive
can
footage,
get
Cayce in February 2020.
a sense of what being in front of other people is like without
Cayce
the
performing
risk
at a
of
show with her
real
guitar and
people.
electric
And by
modular.
real people, I mean people you don't know, or strangers, or people who aren't aware of the context of what you're doing. I want to get more into the teaching side and the community side of things. That's something that I've always been pretty good at, and I really enjoy. It's very gratifying to me, and I feel like I've been doing this for just about 3 years now, and I'm a really quick study, and I feel like I have a lot to offer. I'm hoping that, you know, in the end, after this is all done, I've made more space for other queer people in electronic music, and there are a lot of us already, but it's not something that I think a lot of people know about. So I want to make it more clear and more obvious that electronic music is kind of run by queer people, and people should know about it.
End credits.